In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Appearance panel, which is one of the most powerful aspects of Illustrator. Appearances allow us to do some really cool modifications to our imagery and save those modifications and apply them to multiple different objects. It's very similar to layer styles in Photoshop. I'm going to start by drawing a circle, and I'm going to also draw a rectangle. I'll go to my standard selection tool and select my circle to begin. And on the right hand side, we've been modifying fills and strokes. Actually, we've been doing this using the Appearance panel. So this is like a smaller version of the Appearance panel in the Properties window. So we can click this and change these aspects of our piece. And this is really, we've been modifying an appearance. If we click this dot dot dot, it opens up the full Appearance panel. It may be floating for you out here. I would go ahead and dock it somewhere useful. I use the Appearance panel quite a bit, so I like to have it handy. And under Appearance, we see basically what we've seen before. Just, it has our stroke, our fill, and there's some new things here like the opacity here, and then this is another opacity measurement. And these work just like layer styles in Photoshop, where they're kind of like layers within layers. So these are all the different effects that are being applied to our vector path. I'm going to show you a little preview mode you can go into by pressing Command Y. Command Y shows you only your vectors. It removes all appearances. So this is really what Illustrator sees these different paths that you've drawn, and then we're going to apply a bunch of effects and things like that in order to modify this and give it a good visual look. So in this panel, we can obviously modify our stroke and our fill. This is an important thing. I just messed up, but I'm going to keep this in here because this is really important. You have to select something in order to actually modify it. So whenever you have no selection, you're not modifying anything. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. So I can modify the stroke there. I can twirl this down and change the opacity of the stroke. This is also how we get to the blend mode menu. So this is where I can start playing with the blend mode. Can even make a mask in here, all sorts of crazy stuff. But let's say we want to add an additional stroke or an additional fill, right? That's really what the Appearance panel is for. We're actually going to be using these three parts of the Appearance panel. In this lesson, just these two. But these will add a new stroke and add a new fill. So right now we have a yellow fill and a black stroke. If I go ahead and click Add New Stroke, it will copy the stroke that I have and make a new stroke. So now if I change this, we're modifying one stroke, and there's a stroke underneath that, right? This is just like the Layers panel. It matters with the order. So if I move this down below this one, we're only going to see the top. If I move it above that, we're going to see it on top. Now let's see if we can see both of them. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. So now we can see both. I'll make this one a little bit larger. Let's go ahead and add yet another stroke. So I'll just go down here and click the Add New Stroke. Make it a little bit smaller. And we've added a third stroke. Now nothing's actually changed with our vectors. If I go to our preview mode by hitting Command Y or Control Y on Windows, it's the exact same thing, same vectors. But whenever I switch back, Command or Control Y, the appearance is what's changing. Let's add an additional fill. I'm going to go down here and click Add New Fill. Let's do a gradient fill. Same mistake. Did not select it. Need to select it. Then add the new fill. Let's do a gradient fill, and this time I can modify this fill's opacity, or I can change its blend mode if I like. There's lots of other things we can do in here, but that's the basics of the Appearance panel and creating multiple strokes and multiple fills. If we want to save this appearance and apply it to other things, it's really easy to do that. The simplest way is to go to Window, Graphic Styles, which is another name for preset appearances. And all we have to do is click this new graphic style. So I have my object selected, I click this new graphic style, and it just made a new style I can apply to other things. Let's go over here and apply this style right here. So I just select it, click that, and it's the same application.